For our fourth part here, let's talk about the challenges that brands may face in the B2B influencer space. So, earlier I talked about a software called Vidyard. Could Vidyard say, hey, LinkedIn, we want to use your employees and pay them to talk about the Vidyard software? Most likely not. Or Vidyard can't come to me and say, hey, Royal, can you blog and talk about how much you love Vidyard, at LinkedIn? That's most likely not going to happen. So what do brands do? They're going to have to create partnerships, rely on existing relationships, and create those company or corporate partnerships to get LinkedIn and Vidyard to work together with each other. Think about the other example, American Express and small business owners. Another challenge businesses may face, especially small business owners, is measuring the impact and the performance of influencers. We just heard how an ROI using an influencer can be extremely high, sometimes up to 11%. If small businesses are going to use influencers, they're going to have to be clear about what they want to measure and the impact they want to see. As we heard earlier, B2B typically only do or mostly do email marketing or direct marketing. And for small businesses, that percentage even increases. And so, as we also heard earlier, businesses are going to have a higher creative content and also longer marketing strategies. And this is where influencers are going to fit if they are able to have both of those. And lastly, brands are going to have to find influencers more than they're going to have influencers come to them. And some of you may be asking why. That is because, one, you want to make sure that your influencer can convey your message clearly and what's unique to your message. For example, what if they're selling financial software and that's different from a cool bottle of lotion? Or what if they're selling, something in the trucking industry, right? That might be harder to convey rather than, coffee and tea or a credit card. And so a lot of small businesses, especially small business owners or small businesses in general, are going to have to do more of the looking for influencers. And then lastly, small businesses, you're really going to want to know where your buyer hangs out online. That's going to be extremely important because then that's when you know when to bring in your influencers. As we heard earlier, 95% of people aren't really in the looking phase of purchasing. And we also heard there can be like 8 people in the buying decision. So when you go to use influencers, you're going to want to tackle these challenges by being very clear. And lastly, I wanted to touch base again on those 2 parts of higher creative commitment and longer campaigns. Higher creative commitment, we sometimes see B2B businesses doing quick advertising or short-term marketing campaigns. Knowing how long it can take to affect the decision maker and affect the buying committee or close a sale, they're going to want to have a longer marketing campaign. And lastly, higher creative commitment. We heard earlier, not a lot of humor, not a lot of emotion, not a lot of storytelling, and this is what most influencers use. And so in order to hit that high creative content, you want to do more of those things, and then that's where the influencers are going to come in.